For me, right away, if they didn't call me back within, let's say, a month's time, I would have given up already. I would have said, I'll forget it. This person didn't like my price or he's ditching me. But I don't want to feel that rejection. So I'm saying, what kept me going and what kept you in your mind saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to be negative because of this person right here, but I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good question. So what you're basically asking is like, how do you continue to follow up with these people after you've sent them a proposal and you haven't heard from them for like 2 weeks to a month, and you've called them every week, and you start to feel like this negative mindset of you're going to be bothering them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So I've been doing sales now for a while, for one, so I'm not going to bullshit you like, you should know what you're doing and you should be able to do this, like no problem. But it's a deflection of feeling, what's the word you just said earlier? You basically said that rejection. And you need to realize that it is your responsibility and your duty to make sure that these people are getting in contact with you and you are getting in contact with them. It is your responsibility. Like, I literally tell myself that it is when I start to feel like I'm being rejected and I feel like these people are not answering the phone, these people are not calling me back, like these people, they probably don't even want to do business with me. What's the point of doing this? When I start to feel that way, I start to lean in even more of that. This is my responsibility. This is not their responsibility to call me. It's not their responsibility to think of me. It's not their responsibility to, hold my hand. It's my responsibility. And it is my duty, is how I feel, to get in contact with them. Like, if I don't get in contact with them, like, I start to feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm doing something injustice to them. Like I'm basically like not doing my job. I literally start to feel like I'm not doing my job. Like, I need to contact this person. And not only that, from the people that I've spoken to after calling them on a weekly basis and getting creative, like if it goes longer than 3 weeks, then I get creative. I don't just call them every 3 days or once a week. I'll switch it up. 1 week I might call them and leave. I always leave a voicemail, for one. 100% always leave a voicemail. Most people are going to call every week and not leave a voicemail. The reason why is because they're so scared that if they say who they are on the phone, then they're going to remember that they're calling every week. So most people are thinking to themselves like, well, if I call every week and I leave a voicemail, they're going to know that it's me. So usually they'll just hide and not leave a voicemail. For me personally, like, I always leave a voicemail. Like, no matter what, I always say, hey, this is John. I just calling to check in on that proposal. I hope you're doing well and happy holidays. Like, I literally will bug them as much as I possibly can until I get an answer, because I literally feel like it is my moral responsibility to do business with them. I've talked to many people after following up with people on a sequence of month to month to month, 2 months at a time, a month at a time. And then there's been clients that I've contacted every 3 days. And 90% of the time, they've thanked me. They've literally thanked me for following up with them. And so when I've gotten those responses of like, the reason why I'm doing business with you, John, is because you wanted it so bad that I wanted to give it to you. And I've had clients tell me, because you reminded me on a weekly basis, I wanted to do business with you, because this kept going over my head and I kept being so busy with everything else. I mean, you got to think about it. Like, sometimes the services that we're offering is a priority, but it might not be the main priority. So what I tell myself is, instead of telling myself, this person doesn't want to do business with me, this person doesn't like me, this guy doesn't like my price, he probably thinks I'm bothering him, is I start to put the other thoughts in my head, which is, he's probably busy. He's probably got something else going on. He's probably working on another project. He's probably freaking slammed with some emergency. Maybe he's having a baby. Like, I don't know, right? I don't really care, but that's his situation. And if he can't give me a response, a simple email that says, John, stop calling me, we're not going to do the deal, then I'm thinking to myself that he wants me to keep calling. Do you see what I'm saying? Because how simple is it? Think about it. If I called you for Overcomer Academy every single week to get you to sign up with my academy, and 4 weeks go by and you never respond back, you just avoid me, or you never even text me just to say, you know what, John, I'm good right now, I don't think it's going to work out, you're obviously sending me a signal that's just saying you're just not ready, maybe, or you're just busy, or there's just a lot going on, and maybe you're just putting it on the back burner, but you don't physically want to tell me no. If you're not telling me no, then that means go. Because on the 6th week that I follow up with you, you might be in a perfect situation. Maybe you just sold $1,000 project, you got $800 extra sitting in your bank account, you just paid all your bills off and everything, and it's the perfect timing. And I called you, and you're having a beautiful evening, and you had a great day, you have nothing on your mind, and I happen to call you. And this thing has been on your mind week after week because I've been calling you on a weekly basis, and then eventually you're just like, oh man, like, you know what? I think I need to join this academy because it's something that I needed to do. The only reason why I wasn't going to do it was because the finances were a little tight. The finances aren't tight now. And the only reason why I haven't told John no yet is because I really wanted to join it. I just didn't have the finances and I just wasn't ready at that time. You just need to overcome that self-limiting belief, that fairy tale that you're telling yourself that these guys don't want to hear from you. And if you feel more... Huh?
Overcomers.com. Overcomers Academy. That's cool. I gotta learn that one. I gotta in my scripts. Be able to talk to people and not feel like, okay, I'm bothering them.
Dude, that's all it is, man. I mean, that's why we called it Overcomer Academy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just about the tactics. I mean, think about it. Like, I can teach you mechanics all day long. I can give you the blueprint. I can show you exactly how to do this. And I've told many people this, that I can put this content out here for free, that this is how you do it. You do step 1, you do step 2. I could literally give it to people for free, and I bet you 99% of people won't act on it because they need to overcome some of their self-limiting beliefs. And this is one of them for you. And that's what makes this academy so special, is that not only am I giving you the mechanics on how to do this, but I'm helping you overcome your self-limiting beliefs right now of what you're telling me that you don't want to follow up with them multiple times because you feel like you're going to bother them. And it's not your fault. You're a human. Humans are going to feel that way, man. We're just human beings. We're flawed. Like, we're not perfect. With practice and consistency, this will be a habit for you. Okay, this wasn't always easy for me. Trust me, I used to knock doors. When I built my business, I went out knocking doors every single day, letting customers slam the door on my face all day long. Literally, for 8 hours a day, I would go out there, knock doors, and I would get a wife that would be at home by herself with her children, looking at me like I was gonna rob the place, and she would crack the door open and say, "What do you want?" And then she would treat me like I'm a criminal. And then I would have to position myself as I'm somebody that wants to help her. And I would have to build her trust. And then she would then, in return, either slam the door or tell me to come back when her husband's home and we can all talk. But it was a matter of the consistency and building the habit. And dude, I'm telling you, my heart would race every time I would go knock on that door because I didn't know what I was going to get. I mean, I would get some people that would be angry with me. Like, they would answer the door and be like, "Why are you here?" You know, and like yell at me. And it sucked. And I hate knocking doors. That's probably one of the worst things to do. But what we're doing here is not knocking doors. If you work the program properly, this is stuff that these people need. The difference between residential and large commercial is large commercial, they need your service. And residential, they don't necessarily need your service. It's an option for them. It's optional. When you're working with large commercial, these are properties that need to be maintained and they have budgets for this. So when you get the opportunity to send a proposal, if someone invites you to send a proposal, they give you the time or day to do it, then they are interested 100%. And if you send a proposal and they don't call you back and say, "Let's do the project," because I'm telling you, 90% of my projects have never gone that way, where I send a proposal and then they call me back. The money is literally in the follow-up. Do you know how many times on average it takes to sell a contract in the follow-up? Do you know how many times on average? 8 to 10.
8 follow-ups.
Minimum to close the deal. And that might be from a phone call, That might be from a text message. That might be from an email. That might be from a box of donuts that you stopped by because they didn't get in contact with you for 7 times. So on the 8th time, you wanted to get creative, so you felt like you weren't bothering them. You know, I mean, a simple investment of $6 to go stop by and bring a box of donuts and just say, hey, I brought you these donuts because you gave me the time and day the other day, goes a long way, my friend. They're going to look at that and be like, oh man, you're awesome, dude. And sorry I haven't gotten back to you. I just been so busy. But I'll tell you one thing. I haven't had anybody say, John, you follow up too much.